Facebook prospecting, combining Autogen or any agentic framework with RPA, we stand for Robotic Process Automation. The other day, I've uploaded a video in which I combined CrewAi with Microsoft Power Automate Desktop, and I think that it was a big breakthrough because using RPA allows us way more control over what we are doing, and it actually allows us to create workflows that we can use in the production level. And I'm saying this because, as you know, I'm really excited about the potential of all the agentic frameworks, especially Autogen, CrewAi, and also Open Interpreter, which isn't an agentic framework, but it is very powerful. But as much as I'm very excited about this stuff and I see the potential, most of them, they still don't work in production level, and they still require a lot of tweaks and adjustments and probably progress until we can actually use them, doing real stuff, like real use cases. And since I'm doing a lot of stuff under my own name, so let's say I'm doing LinkedIn reach out or Facebook prospecting, doing social selling with my own profile, I can't allow myself to take the risk of using Autogen for crafting icebreakers for me without validating it, or using CrewAi for writing content for me without afterwards doing Q&A. So these agentic frameworks are very good for accelerating the process, but they still lack ability to really produce high quality stuff without us validating it. And this is where RPA comes into the equation. I will dive in a moment and tell you why I believe RPA is so relevant for this use case. But before I do, I want to share with you, especially for the developers and non-developers, one answer regarding a question that was asked in the other video. And I was asked, what is the difference between RPA and Python, and why shouldn't we use Python instead of using RPA? So I asked, obviously, ChatGPT to write a short comparison, and this was a table that was created by ChatGPT. So first of all, RPA tools typically offer a user-friendly and visual interface for automation, and it requires minimal coding skills. So here's an example of the RPA tools that I'm using most often. It's by Microsoft. It's called Power Automate Desktop. We will dive deeper into like all the functionalities later in the video. And the cons of an RPA is limited flexibility in customization compared to coding. Obviously, coding offers way more customizability and flexibility for complex task automations, but it has a steeper learning curve, especially for those with limited programming experience. So I agree with this. The only caveat that I want to share is the fact that you can also use coding in Microsoft Power Automate. So you can write a Python script and actually use it in Power Automate, or also visual, let's say, scripting. So you can run JavaScript, PowerShell, command line, everything can be run via Microsoft Power Automate. So this basically allows us this flexibility. Now, the speed of development is also something that I love with Power Automate or any other RPA tool. By the way, if you're not using Power Automate Desktop, or you're not a Microsoft, you can check out other RPA tools such as UiPath or Blue Prism. These are like the famous players. Let's move on to the speed of development. So first of all, RPA tools offer rapid development due to the drag and drop interface and pre-built actions. It offers quick deployment for simple automation tasks, but it may require additional time for more complex automations. So as you can see, let's say an example. If in Python we would like to create a loop, we would have to write all the elements and write everything, the variables, stuff like this. Over here, we just drag. We say what is the first, where are we starting the loop? So let's say 1 to 20, and we increment by 1, and this is the variable produced. And there we go, we already have a loop. Let's do this, and over here, we can add all the actions within the loop. So you can see it's very fast. With Python extensive libraries and frameworks, automation script can be developed quickly as well, but still, it's going to take more time. Now, integration capabilities. What I love about RPA is, first of all, you can use API and integrate with a lot of stuff. And if necessary, you don't have to use API because you can automate stuff on the front end. So for example, let's say I want to do something in LinkedIn, an automation, and it's an automation that can be produced using LinkedIn API. What I can do instead, I can just record actions in my browser, and then it's not, I wouldn't say it's an integration, but we can record actions on the browser, and Power Automate is going to record these actions, and basically afterwards it can repeat these actions with logics within these actions. So maybe I will show you a quick example test. So, and obviously if you want Microsoft Power Automate to work, you have to have the extension as well in Chrome. Let's launch a browser. Launch new Chrome, facebook.com. And let's say we want to extract data or click something, or we can record. This would even be better. So let's open the Chrome. As you can see, no hands, and it's going to open the Chrome. It opened it right here. And let's say I want to upload a status on a daily basis. So I can come here. You see here you have all the actions provided by Microsoft Power Automate. So you can write conditionals, loops, scripting, creating new files, manipulating Excels, so launching Excel, attaching, reading from Excel worksheets, saving them, writing to an Excel, sending emails. There are a lot of stuff that can be done. Obviously, I suggest that you check out the documentation of Microsoft Power Automate if you're interested in learning more about this. And if you want, I can record like a way longer video about Microsoft Power Automate, somewhat of a tutorial or a longer course. But for now, I just want to show you this recording functionality. So I hit the record button, and any action that I'm going to do, it is recording them. Hi, this is a test. And then I hit the post. You can see here Power Automate recorded all these actions. And then let's do done. And we can see here that it recorded all these actions. And if I'd like to repeat these actions, it can do it. So we posted once. Now let's do this again. So you can see it's launching the Chrome. Now it is going to click the area for filling out the status, which says what's on your mind, Yaron. Then it's going to wait for 2 seconds. It's going to send what I wrote, the keys. It waits 2 seconds again. Then it's going to add the space. Then it is adding the content again, and eventually it's going to click the post button. Now let's see if it is working. And you can see if you would have done this with Python, it would have taken you way more time. So no hands. Let's see if it clicks. It didn't find the selector. So what needs to be done here? Over here we have all the selectors, and we can just make sure that it finds the correct elements. So this is the selectors section in Microsoft Power Automate. Basically, it allows us to refine what we are clicking in the UI, because the UI changes all the time. And sometimes we want also to click on stuff dynamically. So in this case, it's the user is called Yaron, but afterwards it might be called Tal or Daniel. So we want to change this text to something more dynamic, and we can do this as well. But let's just change this selector. I'm hoping this would work. I'm guessing it will work. Now I change the selector, and now it's supposed to find it and click this correctly. Yes, so you saw it clicked correctly. Now it is going to write, hi, this is a test, and it's going to click the post button. It might not click the post button because we need to adjust the selector as well for the post button. We can adjust it over here. This should probably work. Let's see. I don't want to take risks because we're... Now, this is one of the most complex parts of the automation, is finding the selectors. But again, it's not so complicated. I think this should work. And again, it's not... this isn't the topic of the video, but I just want to show you, because some of you probably after my last video, you're thinking of entering the RPA game, and I want to show you like the backend, how things look like, and then you can assess if it's too technically complex for you or not, although I really don't think it is complex, and if you invest some time, you're going to figure this out. Now this is supposed to work. If not, we will just move on because this isn't the point of the video. It's sending the post. Afterwards, I will show you like the whole automation that I've built for Facebook. This is a test. Okay, it didn't find it. Anyway, so probably requires a bit more adjusting on my end, but still, you get the gist. Now let's move on because I felt that I wasted too much time on this. Okay, so integration capabilities. You can use APIs, and you also can use the front end. Scalability. So RPA tools are designed for scalability, and they allow very easy scaling. You can also, like something that I'm doing now, because I'm running many automations, and very often we are using the automation from the front end because we are doing things that need to emulate the user behavior. So let's say I have a Facebook automation. I'm adding random weights in between sending the messages to different prospects because I don't want the Facebook platform to realize that I'm using an automation. So very often I'm using the front end in order to do these automations. As you saw, I'm just moving the mouse randomly. So the platform will to mimic human behavior. And because I'm using the front end, I don't want to use my own computer. So I have these automations running on a remote computer. Python is scalability is virtually unlimited, but it requires careful architecture, while using RPA is easier to build, but sometimes scalability costs more. We have like maintenance aspect. RPA tools often include monitoring and debugging features, making it easier to identify and fix issues in automation. So as you saw, whenever I had an issue, I just got the error at the bottom. It was pretty fast. You don't need to add like any logs, stuff like this, that you would have to add into Python. Now, with regards to cost, RPA tool often offer subscription-based pricing models and making the cost predictable and scalable. One thing to keep in mind is Microsoft Power Automate Desktop is free. Python is obviously completely free. Now, we covered the pros of using Power Automate Desktop. We have like conditional logics. We can build loops, very easy to adjust. It's basically a drag and drop tool. Now let me show you an automation that I've built for Facebook prospecting. Basically what this automation does, I go to a group of prospects, I scrape them. So let's say I want to find a group. I want to prospect people who are selling on Amazon. So I can come here, members. I'm going to scrape all the members that we have things in common. For this, I'm using this Chrome extension that is called Instant Data Scraper. As you can see, it starts scrolling and it's going to take the URLs of the profiles, their names, the amount of mutual friends that we have, their information, and whether or not we are friends or not. I'm going to pause this. Then I can export it to an Excel file. You can see I did already a bunch of those. So this is the Excel file that contains all the profiles from the group. In this case, I only took like 33, but you can take 2000. What I usually do, I take all the relevant prospects and put them in my automation. Now, let me go over the automation for a second. So basically what the automation does, I have here like different type of DMs. So these are icebreakers that I send to prospects. Then I launch the Excel with all the prospects. This is the Excel. As you can see here, we have the profile link. Then we have the status. Then we have if they responded or not, the date. And this is a breakdown of all the reach outs that I sent. So this is the date that I sent the reach out. This is the amount of reach outs that I did. And this is my total response rate. Now, initially I built this automation. I was just sending automatically went to the profile, liked automatically the recent post, then sent a friend request, and then I sent a DM. Then I decided that I need to add like random variations of DMs. This is called spin text. So Facebook won't realize that I'm using an automation. So I just created like 10 different random DMs. And every time I had a random variable, which would select a different DM. So the DMs were slightly different. Afterwards, I realized that I was very often I was prospecting or sending the DMs to people who are not relevant. So someone can be in the group, but not necessarily relevant. So let's say if they are from a country that I'm not targeting, or if they are a virtual assistant and I'm targeting only CEOs. So I understood that I need to add a layer of validation and not send the DM to everyone. And why was that important? First of all, I didn't want to waste my time. Second of all, you can send approximately only 50 DMs per day using Facebook. So if I'm sending DMs to people that are not my prospects, although they were in the group, it's kind of a waste. So what I've built a validator in which I open 3 different Excel files, and the first Excel file contains a list of negative keywords, which if we find these keywords in the profile's bio, we are going to skip him. The second Excel file contains positive keywords. So I'm looking for people who are CEOs, agency owners, etc. And then we have the location Excel, which basically I want to look and see if the bio mentions any city in tier 1 countries in the US, UK, Germany, etc. So let me show you these files. So locations file, you see United States, all the cities in the States. In Facebook, one thing to realize, and this is after many trial and error, in the bio section of people, you don't have necessarily the country. You sometimes only have the city name. So what I did, I took a list of all city names in the US and UK and Germany, etc., and I added all of them because, let's say someone is from California, but his profile doesn't mention United States. I cannot rely on the automation to look only for US. I need to look for California as well. So this is why we have this comprehensive list of many cities in different countries. So in Denmark, in Sweden, in Australia, in New Zealand, etc. So we are entering a profile page in Facebook, one of the prospects. We are looking to see if any of the cities in tier 1 countries is mentioned. Then we are looking to see if they have any of these. Let's say I'm not targeting people from Nigeria, India, or Pakistan. Nothing personal, but usually I'm targeting tier 1 countries. So I'm looking to see if they have Nigeria, India, or Pakistan in their bio. I can also add virtual assistant because I'm not targeting virtual assistant. And I'm also looking for positive keywords. So I'm looking for someone who has in their bio marketing, agency, coach, CEO, founder, direct to consumer, ads, sales, ROAS, etc. Now, after, and let me show you just an example. So let's say we open her profile. This is her profile. We look in the intro, we see she doesn't have any information about herself. So she doesn't have the word CEO or founder or agency, but still she has Texas. In this case, my automation will skip her because she doesn't have any of the positive keywords. And we are looking for someone who has also in a location that is relevant, also has a keyword, and also doesn't have a negative keyword. So it's an and relation. Let's look for another prospect just for the sake of the example. So let's say this guy, opening his profile. We see he only mentions he's an inventor, but no data about him, so the automation will skip. After we found someone that we would like to target, because he's also in a tier 1 country and he's also an agency owner or something like this, what the automation does, it is going to scroll down. It's going to like the recent post of the automation. And then it is hitting the friend request button. By the way, if it's not a coach, as you can see here, it's going to write not a coach in the Excel file. So you can see over here, we have not a coach many times. Next, assuming that he is a coach, coach is just in this case, it's a variable or like a parameter that I didn't change, but I'm targeting coaches and CEOs, but I call all of them a coach just for the sake of simplicity. So assuming he is a coach, we are going to send an automated DM, and the DM consists of something like, hi, so we have a lot of stuff in common. Would be happy to connect, and then maybe a call to action. And I'm testing different types of DMs. And then it's going to send the DM. Is going to save the status in the Excel file, and then it moves on to the next prospect. So as you can see here, we have, let's go down. I did already a lot of these. So you can see here, send DM6 at and also the time, send DM8. So I'm also saving all the types of DMs. So I will have the data about which DM produced the best results. And then I'm also calculating this, and this is using a macro, an Excel macro, which basically seeks in column D different dates, and then it writes the date over here, and it counts the amount of reach outs that were conducted on the same date, and it just lists all the amount of requests that I've sent in any specific date. So this is the automation in general. There are a lot of nuances over here. You can see there are many lines of automation because I've added random weights between actions, and I've added like a validation phase. So if I see, I'm using OCR, if I see that I already sent a message to someone, and I can see, like, let's say I have this conversation, and let's say I hit her profile and I click the message button. So I'm using an OCR mechanism to see if I have hey on the screen, because if I have hey on the screen, it means that I already sent her a message, and then I want to close the chat and move on to the next prospect. So there are many different additions that I did to this flow. And I don't mind going over it more in depth if anyone is interested. But again, this isn't the goal of the video. I'm just showing you like a high level. It's not so high level anymore, but I'm just showing you what can be accomplished using a RPA. And I will also share an interesting automation that I've built with LinkedIn. Basically, in that automation, I'm looking for people who posted a job post recently based on different keywords. So let's say I want to find more gigs as an automation expert. So we are looking for automation expert jobs in LinkedIn. Then automatically we find the CEO of the company who posted the job post. Then we start nurturing the lead. So every day we run the automation, we go to all the CEOs and we like the recent posts. And after a few days, we send them a DM. So this is also another use case that I've built using Power Automate Desktop. Okay, so at the moment, I have this automation which is working pretty well from a technical standpoint. And as I said, I'm using a VPS, a Microsoft VPS, in order to run this automation on a daily basis without disrupting my workflow. And I also built a similar automation for Instagram and Twitter. But I'm not loving the response rate that I'm getting. So I want to add another layer of personalization. And this is where Autogen comes, hopefully, to save my response rate. So what I want to do is, after I found a prospect, I'm scraping his info. I did the validation and I saw that he is from a tier 1 country and he is a CMO or a direct-to-consumer owner or an agent. I want to write an icebreaker. And for this, I want to use an agentic framework. In this case, I've started playing around with using Autogen. And as you probably recognized, this is Autogen Studio. And this is the workflow, personalized outreach. And in this personalized outreach, we are going to have the prospecting copywriter. And agent name is prospecting copywriter. The agent description is an agent specializing in writing short icebreakers for personalized outreach. The system message is, you specialize in creating short yet thoughtful icebreakers to get the conversation going. If given a prospect bio, you can figure out something nice to say. Keep in mind that you probably don't have any context about the prospect, so don't mention any names. The model which we are going to use is GPT-4 Preview. And just as a reminder, agent description is different from the system message because the system message is basically the prompt that you are giving to the agent, and the agent description is a description that is going to be used by the group manager to understand who is the most relevant agent to answer the current query or the prompt. So agent description is internal for the use of the group chat manager, and system message is a prompt for the agent. So we have the prospecting copywriter, and we have the prospecting critique, which is basically a layer of variation of validation that I'm going to add to the process. Because like I said at the beginning, if I'm going to automate this outreach and I'm going to send DMs from my LinkedIn account or my Facebook profile, I cannot risk sending stupid stuff or irrelevant stuff. So I have to have another layer of validation. So this is why I built the prospecting critique, and I might even add another agent to validate everything, just like take a last look at the DM before I send it out, because I don't want to make any like crucial mistake. Let's say I'm reaching out to a CEO over LinkedIn. I don't want the DM, the icebreaker, to come across as stupid or irrelevant or rude or something like this. So this is the prompt that I gave to the prospecting agent, an agent specializing in giving feedback about copywriting. Keep in mind that you probably don't have any context about the prospect. Analyze the icebreaker and make sure there's no reputational risk in uploading it. If there's any reputational risk, since you're not sure how it will be perceived, suggest how we can adjust it. This is just like an initial prompt, and let me show you what this produces. So obviously, if you want to use this on your end, you create the workflow, you add the agents to the workflow, and then going to the playground, you create a new session, and then you write the prompt. Now, this is what I've achieved using these similar agents. So I asked it to write a personalized outreach icebreaker to the prospect. He's called, and this is where I'm scraping the data from the Facebook profile. So in this case, I scraped my own profile, as you can see here. I scraped the profile name, and this is the intro: father, growth marketer, and entrepreneur, podcast host at Ecom X Factor, founder at Ecom X Factor, certified expert at Google Analytics, official partner at Klaviyo, and from Tel Aviv, Israel. So I've pasted this over here. Next step would be pasting this using RPA, which is very, very simple to do. But first of all, I want to see, like, at the atom level, that I know how to create good personalized icebreakers. And then if I see that I have the prompt nailed down, I'm going to automate also adding like the first name, last name, and the bio. So this is the prompt. Limit to 2 sentences maximum, make it fun, positive, and relatable. Return only the final personalized outreach. The output should be in the format of output and then the personalized outreach. Example, output: hey Yaron, happy to connect, you seem to be, etc., etc. Now, this is the conversation that was started. Write a personalized outreach icebreaker to the prospect. He is called Yaron Bean, blah, blah, blah. Return only the personalized funnel outreach, etc. Now, this is what the prospecting copywriter suggested. Hey Yaron, from nurturing growth in marketing to planting seeds of wisdom as a father, it sounds like you're cultivating success at every turn. How do you balance the entrepreneurial hustle with podcasting without missing a beat? I really like this. This is very cool because it is straight and to the point. But if I would have gotten this, since I'm involved in the automation game, I would probably be suspicious. But still, it looks like it was well thought of and might have been personalized by someone and not like mass personalized outreach. Now, the prospecting critique said the icebreaker provided is personalized, fun, and positive. It acknowledges your own professional and personal roles, which could help in establishing a connection. There is no apparent reputational risk as the message is respectful and relevant to your own bio. I love it. However, To ensure there is no misunderstanding or negative perception, it might be beneficial to avoid potential implications that Yaron could be struggling with balance. As the question, how do you balance the entrepreneurial hustle with podcasting without missing a beat, might imply. Instead, we could celebrate his ability to manage these roles effectively. Adjusted output. Hey Yaron, you're juggling the worlds of growth marketing and fatherhood while hosting a podcast. That's an impressive hat trick. What's your secret to excelling in these diverse arenas? This is great because I would love to get this personalized outreach, and since it is uplifting and positive, I would probably respond. Although I might have been suspicious that it has an automation in it, I like it a lot, and I would probably respond. This is the final output. And then my plan is to take this output, and this is why I requested the script to create like in this format, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to parse this out. I'm going to take this, add it to an Excel file. Every prospect is going to have an additional row of personalized outreach. So coming here, let's say this is going to be outreach. And let's say this is my link, your own link. This is going to be the outreach. Remove the quotation marks. And basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Power Automate Desktop to send this automated outreach. So instead of sending something generic, which I'm currently sending, Power Automate Desktop can loop over all these rows, go to cell E in each respective row, take this text and send it as an automated DM. Okay. That's it for today, guys. Let's see if I covered everything. Autogen fright in the icebreaker. Yes, I've covered everything that I wanted. It was longer, not longer than expected, because I knew it's going to be kind of a longer video. Pretty high level, a lot of random thoughts and examples. I hope that you enjoyed the video. My main goal in this video was, first of all, to answer a few of your queries regarding the difference between RPA and Python and how RPA can be so beneficial for us when creating automations, because it just allows us way more control. And when we combine RPA with agentic frameworks, I think that we can achieve amazing stuff. Then after we covered RPA and Microsoft Power Automate, all the abilities. By the way, again, if you would like me to create more comprehensive videos about RPA tools, let me know. So we covered the process that I've built, which allows me to automate DMs in all the social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. And now I shared with you today, I shared with you one of the breakthroughs in which I'm going to leverage Autogen to help me craft a personalized outreach, and then help me validate that it doesn't come across as something that it shouldn't come across, and I have zero reputational risk when I'm sending out the outreach. I might hire someone afterwards to just validate all the outreaches to make sure that they are not offensive or insulting, but I think hiring someone kind of beats the purpose of automating. I mean, some of you might disagree, but I would love to automate this from A to Z instead of hiring someone to do the QA. And I think it's doable, because worst case, I can just add another layer of validation on the output. So I'm going to implement the use of Autogen in this automation. My next goals are to complete this automation and start tracking what type of icebreakers work better. And then after I nail this down, I want also to build like a automated commenting tool, which is going to basically extract the post from prospects that I want to nurture as leads, and then comment on their posts in a thoughtful manner that will keep me top of mind. And afterwards, I would be able to take the conversation offline to like the DMs, to the inbox, and hopefully conduct a conversation, hop with them on a call, and maybe sell them something which is relevant. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Obviously, leave a comment below with any feedback regarding the pace of the video, the content, any questions about using RPA or Autogen. I'm always happy to hear your feedback, and I try to adjust based on it. So would really appreciate your feedback. And that's it. Have a great weekend. I'm recording this. It's a Sunday morning over here. Hopefully, I don't know if you're watching it at the moment. Probably not. Anyway, until next time, keep on automating.